Alright, that was actually a way better episode than I thought it was going to be because usually most penultimate episodes of Survivor seasons are fairly depressing, bump everyone down in negativity, and aren't really that interesting to watch, but this episode, with all the chaos going on, it was a heck of a lot of fun to watch it. Wow. I had a great time, even though Trish left, who I've mentioned I've liked, but doesn't really bother me that much, although what happens next episode could bother me. More on that later. So, I'm not going to talk about how I feel about everyone's actions at camp until after I've done both challenges, because it's the same thing, you know? So, okay. So this reward challenge, I actually didn't realize until it was over how much I had missed this challenge, because many would say it's kind of boring, you know, people just throw mud on themselves, go back and scrape it off, but you know, it's just the funness of it, how fast they're trying to work, and how they look afterwards, you know, it's just simple things in life, because I gotta be honest, even though there have been challenges in Survivor that have been really intense for me, a lot of the more intense challenges for me were actually in the first few seasons, to be honest. Because they were simpler, you know? Alright. Tony winning, that was pretty surprising, but it wasn't a big deal to me if he won, and then he picks Trish, who finally gets to participate on a reward. Lucky her, even though she revealed in her Ponderosa vids she's apparently only lost 10 pounds since the game started. Whoa, you would have expected a lot different, huh? Then as for that immunity challenge, I thought it was Tony's to lose, but then Spencer came from behind, made it a real challenge, and he won the thing. And I was glad that he did, because one, it allows him and Tony to duke it out until basically the end, but also it meant that Tony's alliance would finally have to implode, but it wasn't because of Tony for once. Yeah. Sorry that I'm waving the iPod Touch around a little bit. It's been a while since I did one of these vids. Well, I've been holding it up like this. And then how do I feel about everybody having their interactions with each other around camp? Whoa, sorry, I forgot one important thing. I was surprised that this reward challenge didn't feature family members, because this is the penultimate episode. Usually it happens this episode or the previous one, but nothing. No hint or mention of family members, so what's going on? I mean, like, as I said, this is what they usually do it, and Jeff said like, Lindsay quitting didn't affect any events happening in future in the game, so were you not planning to do a family visit? I mean, like, every season on Survivor, with the exception of 2, has always had family members appear on TV or in person on location, you know? So, what the heck? I mean, like, the only times it didn't happen was Fiji because of the political turmoil, but they were going to do it, and Blood vs. Water, but in Blood vs. Water, the loved ones were already there, so... What the heck? Now, one theory that I've thought of was that it's because Sprint is no longer a sponsor of Survivor, which is one reason they aren't doing Sprint Player of the Season, you know, but that shouldn't matter, because Survivor did loved ones well before Sprint ever came into the game, so what the heck? It's a bummer Dalton Ross didn't ask that to Jeff, because this is a question that we need answered, along with a couple of others, more on that later. So now, for real, everyone's talking a camp action. So Spencer, well, even before he won the immunity, there really wasn't much he could do except go along with what Kaz was telling him, because, you know, 4 vs. 1, you can only take so much. And even though Spencer has been doing great, you know, staying alive, trying to make his case, it's more of what's going on at Tony's alliance. One, yes, because they own the majority, but Also because Tony, is so great at, I don't know about manipulating people, but making his case to them. Because I don't think it's so much manipulation, because I genuinely think that, like, okay, Jeffra. I think originally he really did want to keep Jeffra, and get to 5, but then Jeffra's behavior ended up being so strange that he did what he did. Yeah, I think you guys know what I'm thinking. Kaz, well, I've kind of already talked about her also, because she's the free agent of the Alliance. Always voting with them, yes, but doing it because she chooses to, and not because she's just a member. And it seemed like, according to Trish, that Kaz actually did want to go back with the brains at, I think, a couple of opportunities. Wu, I'm glad he's getting more, not camera time, but more self-awareness. Yeah, but I'm beginning to think it's too little too late. The finale could change it, but yeah. Trish, well, she was just the recipient of Kaz and always going at Kaz, so it became evident that it was going to be her or Kaz going. And then Tony, on the one hand, I want to say his scrambling made him look stupid, but at the same time, things are finally happening to where he is determining who gets voted out, So we haven't seen Tony in this position in, like, forever. So, maybe it is stupid on his part, but maybe it's because he wants to get back in that driver's seat. It all depends, because you know how next episode it shows him crying? Interesting. So they're going into tribal? That was just hilarious, how Tony, Kaz, and Trish were all doing their stuff, and everyone's just like... Yeah, that was just great. And then Tony does this thing with the idols, revealing both of them, and he makes actually a very darn good, convincing pitch that his super idol will carry him into the final 3, even though, of course, he revealed to the camera that it doesn't. And I love how Jeff didn't state this is the last time to do so. He played on Tony's thing and says, now would be the time to do so. I'd like to see how that goes. So I was expecting Trish and Tony to stick together, Wu to flip, Tony to save Trish, and that Kaz would go home. But surprisingly, Tony saves himself and actually ends up voting Trish out with Wu. And that was shocking, because I did feel like Trish was actually the safest out of all the other people Tony, should take to the end, because, as I've already stated, she's made a lot of the similar moves to him, so that's kind of shocking. And also, him voting Trish out makes the situation at camp a lot more volatile, so that'll be great for us viewers, but not so great for him. But yeah, he was right earlier in this episode, stating that the best scenario, even though he stated multiple scenarios, would be for him, Trish, and Kaz. As this episode revealed, Kaz doesn't really have much of a point. Chance of winning, especially her flipping out Trish and Sarah going, So that's that. Now we're down to the top 4. And, I've heard that the final 2 rumors are coming back, and they seem to be a lot higher chance of actually becoming true with this season having a final 2. It could happen because there'd be 9 members on the jury, but if that's true, then if Lindsay had stayed, where would the reward challenge to become first immunity challenge have happened? Oh wait, maybe this would have been it. So that's why there wasn't any family members. Because if or maybe they just did like a Micronesia and say because she. But then why did Jeff say that statement? I don't know. This is something that we need answered that we're probably not going to get answered because, that's just the way it is. I mean, like, I know Dalton Ross can only ask so many questions, and who knows, Jeff might answer this on his Twitter feed and stuff like that. I don't know. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't have Twitter, and I don't really feel like getting one anyway. Okay. But my ultimate thoughts are, I mean, like, I've been preaching for a while that I really wish Survivor would go back to Final 2, but ironically, now I'm actually kind of wishing that they don't, because if they make a Final 2, this means that Spencer or Tony have a much bigger chance of being voted out, because I gotta be honest, there's been a huge part of me that really wanted to see these two duke it out in the final three, because I got the opinion that if both of them make it to the final three, that other person there just has no chance. So, that's pretty ironic, isn't it? The guy who's been preaching Final 2 is now like, oh, it might be happening. Did it have to happen this time? Yeah. Okay, so, let's talk about my thoughts on these top 4. So first of all, Kaz. I do like what she, not necessarily has been doing, but what she has potential to do. Okay, she could stir things up, maybe not in the way that I like it, but it will be entertaining. But I don't want her to really win this next to Spencer and Tony, and I feel like she blew a lot of her chances, or never has really had them from the get-go, because as Trish revealed, among a couple of other things, it seemed like everybody has hated Kaz for a long time, and the editing just hasn't shown it, or they bottled it up. Woo! Nah, I haven't wanted them to win for several episodes now, and if he wins, it'll be worse than Fabio winning, I think, because okay, I feel like they've been doing equal gameplay, getting roughly the same amount of camera time, both likable people personality-wise, both mattering to votes at basically the same intervals, okay? But the difference mainly between them is Fabio's season wasn't that great, this season has been, because well, Nicaragua wasn't really that great of a season. I rank it as second worst since HVV. That fact's gonna piss a lot of people off. And even if Chase had won, he was my pick to win, but that wouldn't have made it that much better, to be honest. I'd still rank it 7 out of 8, honestly. So yeah, Wu winning, that is the scenario I at least want to see happen. Please don't happen. Sorry, man, but I just don't want to see you win. And now Spencer. Yeah, I love a good fight to stay alive most of the time, even if it's people that I don't necessarily like, such as, a couple of examples here. Well, Malcolm in Carabone, mainly after the merge. He put in a lot of effort, he got booted, yeah. Then there was, what's his face? Ozzy! From South Pacific, that was fun! How can you forget Ozzy? Right. And just, he's done quite a lot of social interaction. He's done things to piss people off because multiple people, even people who have liked Spencer, have mentioned there have been times where they've been kind of question mark on him. And he's had some arrogant confessionals, let me tell you. But he's been prominent at the beginning, has been in the fight to stay alive basically since the beginning of the game, so yeah, I'd love to see him make it and win this. But at the same time, I want to see Tony make it and win it because he's played the driver's seat game. I mean, like, when was the last time that we had this big epic duo between the guy who's been trying to stay alive and the person who's been in the driver's seat? A lot of you are probably going to bring up Exile Island with Aris vs. Terry, but I feel like Aris only really was portrayed to be, in the driver's seat once the merge happened. I could be wrong on that, but there's that, and then Terry, his fight to stay alive really only started occurring at the merge anyway because he was the strongest threat. But, so yeah, who do I want to see triumph between the driver's seat and the guy who stays alive? I don't know. We're going to have to find out, won't we? So, topics to win at this point? Tony or Spencer, really, because if one of them doesn't win, that'll be a real travesty, which is why I don't really want it to be a final two, because I feel like if it's a final three, it really is just down to those two. If it's a final two, it will be more interesting, but kind of already said it. So I know I repeated myself, but trust me, I did have a lot to mention, and I'm really looking forward to this finale and everything. And where does the season stand as of right now? It's where Blood vs. Water was going into its finale, okay? This is definitely going to be taking over Blood vs. Water's spot in the worst case situation, I think. I could be proven wrong on that statement, though, but you get it. Bye.